Hello there, YouTube. It is November 14th. This video is a follow-up video to a video I did earlier, or more like a couple weeks ago, on an analysis of the band Thursday and their song Porcelain, and it's also a video featuring an analysis on national flags. So we'll get right to it. We have here some lyrics that I didn't quite analyze correctly in the last video, and I kind of had an epiphany about what this might mean. And so it's the first part of the song where it says, City of Blue Tile, figure in ceramics, where we reach out, grab for porcelain. But it's too fragile to hold, it shatters in our hands. In time, the seasons will seal these shards in the slits that denote your wrists. So what it's talking about here, City of Blue Tile. So think about it like that. Blue means sad, right? Blue also means calm in another, if you go through with a duality there, saying like, yeah, it's calm, it's sad, but, think about that. When you're blue, you're sad, that kind of thing. So blue there means sad. So it's talking about tile means people probably, but so you have blue people. But tile also means what's going to get broken apart and turned into shards that then you use to stab yourself with for suicide. So you see what I mean? This song goes, it's evil right to begin with, even though they always mask him in catchy beats and such sweet sounding harmonies. It's a pretty evil song. And this is what a lot of emo bands go for too. I mean, it sounds pretty sweet on the surface, but it's also like, it's pretty evil. So anyway, so blue means sad here, right? So, and then eventually it has you killing yourself in the second part here, so it's kind of a bit, it's sad. So that's why that's said there. And I can show you that this is the case, why they would be doing this. So, I'll just show you something real quickly here. Okay, so this is a PDF copy of the Book of the Law by Lester Crowley. It's a very important book to high-ranking Illuminati and high-ranking Satanists. It's pretty much the main work almost. So anyway, we'll get right to it. This part of the Book of the Law says, "My color is black to the blind, but blue and gold are seen of the seeing." So what they're saying there is that my color is black to the blind. So people who are blind think that black's the color of like the Satanic Church, which it actually is black, red, and white. Yeah, black, white, and red. Black, white, and red are the three colors of the Satanic Church. So that's true there, but what they're saying is that people who are blind and don't know what Satanism's really about think that the color of Satanists might be black, like goths dress in black, right? You see what I mean? And they're not really that high ranking of Satanists. The really high ranking Satanists, their real colors are usually gold and blue. And I mentioned gold first, even though I inversed this right here, and I did that for a reason, because gold is color of, gold is wealth, gold is money. So people who are really wealthy tend to be satanic. So you see what I mean? Gold is the color of wealth. So you had it there. And blue is blue for sadness because of the programming they go through. Monarch programming, MK Ultra, etc. So, and also the various tortures that they go through, the various rigors they go through. They usually go through physical and mental trauma to get to where they're at. This is people who are in high-ranking positions in Hollywood, and also, actors and actresses in Hollywood, also sex slaves. Well, not so much sex slaves because they're not really in the elite, but, you see what I mean? They get programmed. So blue would be their color because of the torture they're put through. You go through physical, and I'll read her again, you go through physical and mental trauma to get into some sectors of the satanic elite. So that's why blue and gold are seen of the seeing. The people who have eyes to see know that gold and blue are the colors of the satanic elite because they got money and they're sad for the programming. So that's kind of it. That's why this was written here like this, okay? So, and then it's in this song, and this is why City of Blue Tile. This is why blue is mentioned as the color here. Because remember, these people communicate through colors, symbols, hand gestures, and they communicate not explicitly, but they're alluding to what they're talking to when they talk. They talk in a hidden kind of way. Okay, so that's why blue is mentioned here, and they talk a lot with colors too. So anyway, we have that. And you see what I mean here. That's why this is set up there. Because it took me a minute to figure out, okay, why this is not, they're not talking about the Ishtar Gate being blue. As I mentioned in the previous video, they're talking about they're talking about blue as a color of sadness, basically, is what I think. And then it's got to be a color of sadness because these tiles that could be porcelain shards then turn into, later on in the song, they turn, not too far down here, they turn into shards that, into slits that denote your wrists, as the song says. So it's about suicide, which is sad. So here we go. That's the whole point. And that's one of the ways out of the Illuminati, too, is to commit suicide, or to get murdered, or to fake your own death. I have a video series previous, that's mentioned, that's on my YouTube channel, that shows you shows you different ways that celebrities are faking their death and why they're doing this. So that's that. So this makes the song look a little bit better, and it adds something to what I said in previous videos. And so let's take a look at something else. What we're going to do is we're going to look at some national flags here. This here is the flag of Israel. We're going to get this bigger for a moment so this way you can see, enlarge the image for you here. We have the flag of Israel here. So we're going to talk about national flags a bit. So remember, Confucius said, the elites go with Confucius a little bit here when Confucius, one of his more famous sayings is saying, the world is run by symbols, gestures. This is paraphrasing, of course. Let me get right to it. Confucius says that the world is run by symbols, gestures, and not by words and deeds, kind of thing. This is a rough paraphrase of that. I could grab the quote for you if you want right now, but I don't feel like doing it, so this is the best I could do. So let's just look at this. We have the flag of Israel here. So remember, they're talking through symbols here. So we have blue and blue. Blue and blue these are the waters above the firmament, above the hard firmament above us, above the dome. There's a dome above us. Okay, and these are the waters below the firmament, okay, being the oceans and the seas, okay, and then this is as above, so below, the Star of David, okay, or the Star of Repent, if you want to use the biblical term where it's mentioned in the Bible. This is kind of like, it's not really a Jewish symbol, really, it's more of like a satanic symbol. It's a hidden symbol, mostly, is what it pretty much comes down to. It's also the seal of Solomon, and Solomon might have used this seal to then conjure demons. It shows a number of things. It shows, see, the pointed upward means masculine symbol. Okay, the upward pointed triangle is masculine. Downward pointed triangle is female. It's feminine because it's, these are obviously shapes of how you would denote sex organs, basically, for lack of better words. Okay, so obvious allusion to that. So we have that. We also have the fact that there's a cube in the center too. It's the hexagram cube. Okay, so you can put a cube in there by drawing in the lines to make a cube. Okay, so we have that. And then what they're trying to do with this flag, though, is basically say this. This is the flat plane you're on. These are the waters above, waters below the firmament. Okay, what they want to do is bring it's a dream that the satanic elite have of bringing the heaven here on earth. Okay, that's what they're trying to do with this flag here, almost, and they're trying to say we want heaven here on earth because you're bringing as above, so below. You're bringing it down. Okay, so they're that's kind of like what they're saying with this in a rough way. Because there's a cube in heaven. It's mentioned in the Book of Revelation. It's a cube. That's basically what it is. It's a cube up in heaven. In which you're not really designed to live there organically, as your body won't go there, your soul will go there, though. Okay, so this is the cube coming down to earth, as above, so below, bringing the cube to earth. Okay, it's some sort of false dream they have that's probably, their dream of heaven here on earth is kind of ridiculous. I know I could get into it in later videos, but it's largely like satanic transhumanist fallen angel dominance over humanity is what it pretty much comes down to. That's not really heaven here on earth. That sounds more like enslavement for most of the people who are left here. So anyway, we'll skip this. We'll go on to another flag. Let's see here. We're just going to look real quickly at the American flag. Alright, come on, computer. Oh, is that on the PDF? That's probably why where is my... Well, give me a minute here. I got to get off. I think I'm on the PDF for the Book of the Law. Well, either that or the computer froze. Is it freezing on me? Well, pardon the interruption here. Let me see if I can... There we go. There we are. Okay, so we have the American flag here. Let's get a bigger image of it for you. All right, so the American flag is as follows. Okay, the American flag is they always said that the one with the 13 stars on it was designed by Betsy Ross. 13 stars, 13 stripes for 13 colonies. That's lies, basically. A lot of our histories, parts of it are composed of lies, parts of it are composed of half truths, truths mixed with lies, that kind of thing. But this is kind of a lie. Betsy Ross did not make this flag. Okay, this flag was made up by the Illuminati and or Freemason cabal that runs the world, basically. They decide what goes down and what happens, and it was probably decided that America should rebel from the colonies kind of thing in advance, and it was a planned out rebellion kind of thing. So anyway, we'll get right to it. So let's just take a look at this real quickly. So we have 13, the 13 stripes for the 13 colonies, right? 13 is a occult number. It basically means like 13th pillar for Christ and or Antichrist. Like Christ has 12 disciples, and Christ would then be, I might say Christ has 12 disciples, yes, and then Christ is in the 13th pillar, and it's the opposite for the Antichrist, because the Antichrist will mimic Christ. So you see what I mean. We have that, and we also have 13 is also means you put a slash through 13, and it becomes 1/3. Okay, and 1/3 are how many angels that fell from heaven. This is what 33 is also a way of saying 1/3 as well. 33.3 is the precise way of saying it. But 33, this is why the Illuminati and why 33 is the highest degree in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, because it means 1/3, and 1/3 signifies a third of the angels that fell heaven, and there's 200 angels, a third of them. So that's why you have 13 colonies here. You have 13 original colonies for a reason, to signify 13. It's an important number for them. So that's that. So we also have, and this is another reason why 13 is an unlucky number. Why is an unlucky number an evil number? Because it's associated with the fallen angels. So you get it now. 13 means 1/3, means third of the angels that fell from heaven. The angels came here to basically, the fallen angels basically fell here. They taught us things, but they also terrorized humanity, enslaved humanity. When they ran out of food in the areas that they were in, they ate humanity, okay? And then what else did they do? Pretty heinous things. I mean, they engaged what me and others believe is genetic manipulations, as mentioned in like various parts of the Bible, such as Genesis 6:4 and Romans, about genetic manipulations that were engaged in, and also the Book of Enoch that were engaged in by the fallen angels, more than just miscegenation, more than just what people think. So, and well, I can get into that in another video, but that's for a different topic. But so you get the picture. But you also have 13 stars for the original American flag. This is the 50-star flag. You have 50 stars for, the 50 states, of course. I don't know what the occult meaning of that is, and I'm not going to get into that. Maybe I'd have to figure that one out for myself. Why they did that, I have to figure that out at some point. But the 13 stars on the original Betsy Ross flag, which of course wasn't made by Betsy Ross, you have 13 and 13. So you have Christ and Antichrist dichotomy here, is with the old flag, with the original flag of, it was a circle too. It was a circle of 13 stars and then 13 stripes. And the other thing is that this is an analysis from another channel that I found on YouTube, is that the flag here is actually a lot like a Viking sail, and it's also the Vikings, or actually the Vikings got this original pattern. They were putting it on their sails, right? But they got this pattern from the Phoenicians, and the Phoenicians were a maritime power in the Middle East in antiquity. And so they, the sails on the ship were like that. And the reason why this is important is because the elites are copying this, because the Phoenicians had, the tribe of Dan, which the Phoenicians had relations with, or might even descend a little bit from, has relations with the fallen angels at Mount Hermon. Okay, so the tribe of Dan was one of the tribes of Israel, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. So they had relations with the fallen angels. And the Vikings then used the same thing on their sails on their ships, and they sometimes had snakes on them. And the snake, of course, it represents the snake in the Garden of Eden. So we have that. So that's that on that flag here. And the United States is a maritime power. So we're a coastal maritime power, and this is why they selected this the sail here that was used in the Viking ships, who were also a major maritime power, dominated parts of Europe, plundered them, and also the Phoenicians were a major maritime power, big time. They had colonies all over the place, just like Americans do. America's a maritime global power. Mostly